Welcome to Wholesale Hotline, where we cover everything to do with wholesale real estate. I'm Jamil Damji.
I'm Brent Daniels.
And I am Pace Morby.
And together we cover the most important parts of wholesale real estate.
Lead generation.
Conversion of sellers into contracts.
And dispositions. Guys, remember when you're watching this show, do us a favor and squad up in the comments.
Make sure that you are liking and subscribing to the YouTube channels and in the Facebook group Wholesale Hotline.
Most important, we want to know we're doing a great job for you and helping you build your business. So go give us a review on iTunes and or Spotify.
So squad up and enjoy the show.
Welcome to Wholesale Hotline number 104. I am Brent Daniels, Mr. TTP.
I'm Jamil Damji.
And I'm blown away that we did 104 episodes this year.
That's right. We certainly did. Let's crack it open with this. All right. This is from The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino. Old school. Fantastic. If you've not read it, it is a quick read. It is fantastic. And I want to talk a little bit about salesmanship here because that's
Did you
really
just say
conversion.
It's a quick read? You're holding a Bible.
Well, this is all of his books combined.
Okay.
All of his books.
All right.
This
People
is
can see how thick that juicy boy is on camera right now. And they're like, how is that a quick read?
This is a juicy boy.
So back in the day, that would have been like a greatest hits album.
This is the greatest hits. This is it. So I will greet this day with love in my heart. Henceforth will I love all mankind. From this moment, all hate is let from my veins, for I have not time to hate, only time to love. From this moment, I take the first step required to becoming a man among men. With love, I will increase my sales 100-fold and become a great salesman. If I have no other qualities, I can succeed with love alone. There we go.
I talk about that all the time, bro.
Can I tell you something?
Yep.
I think I'm the greatest closer of all time. Okay. Do you know why I think I'm the greatest closer of all time?
Proof is in the pudding.
Because I believe I care more than anybody else.
Yeah.
I care. I love these people. Jamil's been on so many appointments with me. I freaking love my sellers.
Why?
I just love their stories. I love everything about them. I don't know if it was ingrained in me. I didn't have to read a book to love people. That is a wonderful reminder. Jamil said something a couple of months ago. He said, we're entering into vegetarian season.
Okay.
And I'm like, what does that mean? He goes, no more beef. And I'm like, no more beef. So no fights, no animosity, no anger, no hatred whatsoever. If there's any sort of relationships or bad things that have happened in your life, go full on vegan, no more beef. Stop having the beef in your life. I freaking love that from a sales perspective. When you care more, you close more. When you close more, you make more money.
Yep.
You stay in the game. You get better and better and better. So when I watch other salespeople doing their pitches with sellers, I'm like, you don't care enough. You're not asking the right questions. You're not actually understanding their situation. You're trying to close them. And so when you're in an appointment with me, I'm not trying to close anybody.
Right.
I'm not trying to close anybody. I'm truly trying to understand them with pure love in my heart for their situation.
During that process, you're asking questions. You're discovering what is going on with them.
Yep.
Right. And during those questions, that's where you're finding out what is really happening here and how can I best serve this situation.
Yep. And what's funny is that when I started going to sales training years ago, very quickly, the sales trainer asked me to start speaking in front of the class. And I was like, what's so special about me? He goes, I don't know. You just seems like you know all this stuff. And then when we would read the textbook, I go, oh, I guess I do know this stuff, but I didn't read it in a textbook of how to love and care for people. I naturally just I'm an empath.
Yeah.
I was born an empath. And so my question is, can people learn to love deeply? And can people learn to actually follow those instructions in that book?
What do you think?
1000% you can. In fact, the majority of us, all of us, we tend to come from a space of fear before we learn how to observe that and to transcend that into a place of love. And this is what I mean by that, right?
Yeah.
So as you grow up and we all might have differing opinions about, you know, childhood trauma and its effect on what happens to you as an adult.
Yeah.
But as you grow up and as you navigate this world and you see different people's different opportunities, different experiences, what we tend to find, our behavior, our thoughts, our emotions are predicated upon benefits and the loss of those benefits.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be nice to Pace because it might be beneficial to me.
Right.
Or even though Pace is a jerk to me, I'm going to still not be a jerk back, or I'm going to be nice to Pace because I don't want to lose my benefit, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Right. We're always jockeying for benefits or not to lose our benefits.
Right.
And that is why we get stuck into this fear-based mentality, because we're too scared to be honest. We're too scared to be loving because we are so afraid of losing what's beneficial to us.
Yep.
What I would venture to say.
So how do you get anything if you have
you
that
stop
fear of
focusing
loss?
on the result? You stop focusing. If you can detach from the result, and I say this over and over in different ways, but if you can detach from the result, then the thing you do gets infused with your presence, and that presence is love, because you're actually there trying to do the thing.
So I'm out there. I am broke as a joke. I owe a bunch. I'm trying to be a real estate entrepreneur. I get a deal, and then the seller calls me, says they don't want to sell it to me anymore. I'm devastated. I'm crestfallen. I'm heartbroken. How do you not get it all mixed in there?
Again, a seller calling you and saying, I don't want to sell to you anymore, is not the same as, and you not agreeing with that doesn't mean you're not a loving person or you're not coming from love.
Okay.
You can also be honest and just say, hey, listen, we spent a lot of time and we're in a contract right now, and we have to deal with the reality of the fact that we're in a contract.
Yep.
Right? That doesn't give other people the right to be a dick to you and you not be able to at least be assertive and stand in your truth.
Right.
Right? Being truthful, being powerful, being in your truth doesn't make you a pussy. Okay?
What's that quote about the dangerous gardener? Right? It's better to it's better to be have you ever heard this quote? Oh my gosh.
It falls right in line with the vegetarian.
It does. Anyway, there's a quote Jordan Peterson always talks about. He says it's better to know how to go to war and be a gardener than it is to be a gardener and not know how to go to war.
Yep.
And essentially what it means is that you have to stand in your purpose and you have to be prepared for certain things. Guys, business is business at the end of the day, and you have to be okay with kind of switching, turning on a switch. I'll give you a really good example. House I own in
Brandy got it there.
Oh, there it is. A warrior in a garden is better than a gardener in war. Okay. Love that. That's the quote. Thank you so much, Brody. I appreciate it. So essentially, here's what it means. I've got a house on Whispering Grove in Las Vegas, Nevada. A couple of years ago, I buy this house creatively, subject to. Seller has no equity. He has a bad situation. So I buy the house subject to.
Yeah.
Okay. 2 weeks into escrow, he calls me up and he says, I need to cancel because I need to cancel.
Right.
Okay. And this is where things have to turn to the business side of things. What I ended up having to do is I go, I am not going to let this happen. I care about this guy, but I've already solved his problem. I've brought value to the table, and now what he's doing is he's robbing me.
Okay.
What I found out is that he got a higher offer from somebody else.
Of course.
Okay. So you have to understand when to be a warrior and when to be a gardener. It's better to be a warrior in a garden than it is to be a gardener in a war. And in this situation, this is what I said to him. I go, hey, I don't mind canceling the contract, but here's what I would ask you to do. The people who are going to move into the house, my tenants, they've already moved all the way across the country. They're in a U-Haul, and they're basically right outside your neighborhood waiting for you to move out. It's a mother and a couple of kids. If you don't mind calling them yourself and telling them that they're not going to be able to move into the house, I'm okay canceling the contract. He goes, oh, no. Oh, we can move forward. Let's just get the deal done. And I did this on a live Zoom.
Yeah.
And my students are watching this happen, and they go, man, that's amazing for the wife and 2 kids. I go, yeah, if they exist. I'm sorry. I created a third party that did not exist in order to protect what was rightfully mine. I brought something to the table and I solved a problem. Okay. The difference is
what if he was like, yeah, I'll call him?
He wouldn't have. I'm too good. I'm so freaking good. It was unbelievable. Here, the thing is, I brought something to the table. I solved a problem. I fulfilled my obligation in that contract. We are now in a legally binding contract, and now it's time for me to become a warrior. That's all there is to it. And I'm sorry to say that, but you have to understand how sellers operate. You guys will see the quote that I say all the time: buyers are liars, sellers are worse. It is unfortunate, but that is part of the business.
Jared Franken wants us to be his Valentine. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy
everybody.
Valentine's. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. And how fitting is it that we're talking about love on Valentine's Day? And again, I truly believe that if you can enter every situation, every negotiation, every conversation, and try to be as loving as possible, that you will find a way to a better, higher result than you would be if you're coming in from a fear-based place. Here's the thing. Somebody else said to me the other day, it's not who you know. It's not what you know. It's who you know.
Yeah.
And do you believe that?
Yes, my life forever changed the second I knew Brent Daniels.
I think what you know helps with the people that you know.
Okay, great. So who becomes before what, right? A little bit, or what become what? How is this working?
It's the what becomes before the who, because the only way to get to know a Brent Daniels is to actually bring a little bit of value. Right? I can't just be somebody off the street. I can't be no gig off the street, if you know what I mean.
Go ahead.
You got to earn your keep.
I would say that possibly that's true. If Brent Daniels was the kind of person that was like, I only want to talk to people that are going to benefit me. I've seen Brent Daniels talk to people that he doesn't necessarily see are going to benefit him. And I think that who you know is a product of what's going on in here and what's going on in here. If you are thinking in a way and feeling in a way, who you know changes.
Yeah.
That's what changes. Yeah. Because you're thinking higher, you're feeling higher, the people that are around you, and I'm not high. Okay? This is the people around you.
Are you sure?
The people around you elevate because you are thinking and you are feeling in a higher perspective.
Right.
Right? Yeah. And that's from love.
Yeah.
That's from love.
Can we give Sherry Lash some love? Sherry asked me.
All these skirts know what's up with TTP.
About 30 days ago, she comes into my general Q&A. And she says, Pace, what do I do if I run into a seller that is willing to sell on seller finance? And I go through, I answer the question for her. I spend about 45 minutes. And then a month later, she closes escrow. She hadn't even had this lead yet, but a month later, she closes on a deal, 0 down, 0% seller finance on her first deal ever. Good job, Sherry.
Wow.
Really good to see you in here.
Let's ring that bell, baby.
Ring that bell. Ring that bell, baby. Oh, I get to ring it?
Yeah, come on.
Oh, my gosh. I don't like ringing it because then I can't close my ears.
Isn't it funny how your entire life can transform from one deal?
Yes.
Yes.
Did you guys know that I'm doing a challenge this weekend?
Let's talk about it.
It better be called the Transformation Challenge, because I think one deal can transform your life.
That's exactly what it's called this week. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 10 a.m. Mountain, starting from 10 to noon.
Yep.
It's called the Transformation Challenge. I'm going to be teaching another one of the techniques that we learned in Astro Flipping. Last time I did the Secret Agent Challenge. That was a hit with everybody. They got tremendous value on how to build relationships with agents. And so many people went out and got deals and changed their lives. So here's a new challenge of a brand new technique. Ryan Zolan, who you do a show with every week.
Thursday.
This is the only technique that he does. This one technique that I taught him, it was on how to do deals that are on market. A lot of people are like, Jamil, are MLS deals crap? You don't even fuss with them because they're too much headache.
Here's the thing. I have a full-time girl in my office, Adriana. That's all she focuses on. We probably do 2 of them a month.
Okay.
But it's not my main focal point. I do see the validity in it. I just feel like I like direct to seller way more.
Love it. Love it.
Will you put up the link to that? Guys, by the way, Ryan, in February, closing over $500,000.
Yes. All on that one strategy.
That's not just the amount that these properties are worth. That's what he earns from these deals.
Yes.
10 to 20 a month.
Yes. So there's definitely a lot. And you know what? We use that same strategy at Keegley, and we're doing a 10 deals a month from that same strategy as well. So if Ryan and I can compete against each other in the same market for the same deals, then there's got to be something to it, right? So if you guys are interested in joining, there's a link there. You can sign up. It's limited. It's not going to be as big as the Secret Agent Challenge because we're using a different platform. So guys, get in there and sign up because
how many people max?
I'm maxing it at 500. Ooh. Yeah, this is going to be
done before tomorrow.
Well, that's just it. I just want it to be really intimate. I want it to be small. I don't want to get crazy with it. So guys, sign up, and if you're out, you're out.
Are you doing this on Zoom?
Yes.
Is that where you're limiting to 500?
Yes.
Why don't you use my account? I have an enterprise account. It goes to 1,000.
Well, because I want 500 people to show up.
You want action takers.
I want action takers. I opened it up to a lot of people for the Secret Agent Challenge, and it was great. A lot of people came, but a lot of people didn't do anything with it. And I don't want that. I want people that are actually going to take action. And so I'm just going to limit it. I'm going to make it real intimate, real small. Awesome. And that'll be that.
I love it. When's it starting?
Friday, 10 a.m. MST.
It's 3 days.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
How am I going to participate when I'm on set with you?
This is we're Friday morning. You'll be on right in the beginning with me.
Okay.
And then Saturday we're together.
Okay.
And then Sunday we're together.
Okay.
There we go.
Love it. Oh, because
jump on there, guys.
Because we're in LA. Okay. Got
500 spots. 500 spots. All 3 days, huh?
Yep.
You're going all 3 days.
Going all 3 days.
Awesome.
Hey, only a few spots.
Shout out to this sexy ass woman on Valentine's Day, guys.
Hey, all right.
Oh my gosh, my wife is unbelievable. I'm gonna give her a little shout out. Any man in the audience that treats your wife with any type of disrespect ever, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of insight. These women birth your children. Dude, her water breaks at here's what happens. I get off a phone call at 9:45
after the show last week.
After the show last week.
Yeah.
Okay, I get home, I get on a phone call.
I'm going to ring the bell.
Okay, I get off a phone call late. Sure. It's like 9:30. I get off this phone call. My wife's a G. She's always encouraging me to work. She's always encouraging me to chase my dreams. I go upstairs. She's in the bathtub in pain. Like, I'm in pain. Like, she's putting hot water on her legs. She's trying to whatever. So she gets in bed, 9:45, laying in bed. She's having a hard time breathing. Water breaks, 10:30. We rush to the hospital. We're there at 11 o'clock. She gives birth 47 minutes later. Okay, now I feel bad for her. Let's ring that bell first and foremost.
This is yours. Come on.
So she goes into labor because she's now 6 days past due. Right. So her body's ready to go. So what's happening is like the nurses are on full alert. It's like a swarm of bees because they see how much pain she's going through. Guys, I'm telling you, in 47 minutes for your body to prep from going 0 to 100 and a baby coming out of you, I can't even imagine how traumatizing it was for my wife. I watched her going through it. I felt so bad. And then the next day, I had a guy make a comment in the DMs about his wife. Like something like, oh, my wife this and my wife that. And I was like, you have kids, right? And he goes, yeah. I go, how dare you ever say anything about somebody who birthed your children? Get your freaking act right, dude. Yeah. So shout out to my wife, my Valentine, my sweet woman. She's unbelievable. I can't even believe she went through all that so quickly. She got it done. She brought Monday into the world. One thing that was really cool, 11:52 p.m.
on a Monday.
We knew we were going to name the baby Monday years before. Okay. We knew Corbin was going to be the name of our first daughter because, she's named after my brother who passed away. And so Monday was already picked years prior for our second daughter. And we get into the hospital. We have no idea it's going to be, happen on Monday, 11:52. The doctor comes rushing in. And he goes, all right, well, we can kind of make this happen right now, or we can let it, take another hour. This is, what way do you want to go? And I go, doctor, no pressure, but the baby's name is Monday. And he goes, say no more. 6 minutes later, baby's out. Baby was born at 11:57 p.m. 11:57 p.m. on Monday. So happy Valentine's Day to my sweetheart. I love you so much. And she's so sweet. She's sitting there laying there breastfeeding last night. I lay in her lap and she rubs the back of my head till I fall asleep. She's just an amazing woman. Love you, baby. Love you.
Incredible. Awesome. Congratulations, Laura. We love you. Congratulations, Pacer.
Yes.
On a Monday.
And congratulations, me.
Yes.
It's my second godchild.
Nice.
Yes, that is true.
You're just getting greedy now.
I'm not. No, I can't. Hey, Corbin, I can't be goddad to one and not the other, right?
You can't split them up.
No, I can't split them up.
I get it.
So that's it.
I get it.
Keep having babies.
Before we get into Q&A, because I know this is a Q&A week, I just want to give a special shout out to Brent Daniels. This quote that you just talked about in this book embodies you, bro. I'm telling you, I've never met, this is not bullshit. This is not me blowing smoke. I've never met anybody that champions other people more than you champion yourself. You are a constant cheerleader for everyone around you. You freaking love you love everybody and you demand that they get better in the most loving, understanding, unbelievable way. I cannot believe that I get to be your buddy.
Thank you.
Thank
Love
you, dude. I
No,
love you, man.
Listen, I think everybody that goes out there and talks to strangers about real estate, that's never talked to anybody about real estate, is super brave and incredible and should be championed and should be supported and should be, you know what I mean? It's a small group. If you look at everything that people decide to do with their lives,
Right.
people that want to be real estate entrepreneurs, you have a different brain. And I love you. I love you for that because you like me. You
Yeah.
like
Right.
us.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I'll champion it all day long. Plus that, and I know that if everything melts, I can get on the phone and bring everything back up no matter what. So
Right.
having that confidence is really important, I think. So I love everybody in the community, and I love that I went through everything that everybody's going through when they're starting, because I know that I could do it again. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
Like, let's go.
When you build yourself back up from below zero,
Yeah.
and you're able to do that in a rapid manner,
Yep.
in a way that connects people, in a way that is solving problems, in a way that's immensely profitable to you and your family, and can be done in any city in the entire country,
Yep.
you have a superpower.
Yeah.
And you feel
Yeah.
confident to walk out into the world
Yeah.
and be the way that you are, the way that you are. Like
Yeah.
you're about to, in July, go into a new city and change someone's life. He's going to go into a new city and change. I'm not going to get into the details of it. I'll let him do it. But he's going to go in and change someone's life and hang out with them from an entire month and build a business with them.
Well,
right?
listen, you guys, I mean, you guys have had a lot of, I mean, your tribes, your groups, your families, and your coaching has just gone bananas, and you guys still coach. You know what I mean?
I love it.
Like, it's delegated all the time by everybody else, and it's just silly. Like, oh, let me get them into this funnel so that they can get something to change their lives, and then I'm going to peace out. You guys are on Zoom calls like for 15 hours a week.
Sunday morning, I was on a 3-hour Zoom yesterday morning with my students. I have this student. She's actually in here. Heather Heather Witzig. She's in here. She's doing the Morby method, creative finance purchase. Have I broken down the Morby method for you yet?
Yep.
So she's got a deal.
I love it.
She's got a deal in Florida. Seller needs $100,000, right? It's a seller finance deal. And people always ask, what happens if I run into a seller finance deal where the seller's willing to sell to me on seller finance, but they want a really big down payment?
Yep.
Okay. There's 3 things you can do. Number 1, get better at negotiating. Okay. And that's where, Sherry earlier, she got a 0 down, 0% seller finance deal. That's a great negotiation. However, the other 2 things are contingent upon sometimes the seller needs a specific amount of money to move on and do something with their life.
Yeah.
So if the seller needs money as a down payment, something large, there's 2 other things you can do besides negotiate. 1, okay, well, this is number 2 technically.
Yeah.
Number 2, you can ask the seller to do a cash out refinance. And then once they complete the cash out refinance, you take over that cash out refinance subject to. Okay.
Yep.
What's great about that is the seller then pulls out that equity out of that property through a non-taxable loan, right? They get a loan, non-taxable, and then you take it over subject to, which is pretty dope.
Yeah.
The third thing you can do is you can do the Morby method, where you bring a lender like myinvestorloan.com to the table. They bring, typically they'll bring 70% of the purchase down. Okay. So let's break this down. I've got a deal going on right now in Utah, $500,000 purchase price.
Yep.
myinvestorloan.com is bringing $350,000. It's not, what do we call it? Credit based.
Right. It's an asset-based loan.
What's the interest?
The interest is 4.25. Okay. 4.25%. Now the remaining,
no credit
no credit
at 4.25.
4.25.
That's bananas.
It's competitive out there for lenders right now, dude.
Yeah.
So my investor loan is giving me $350,000. The seller is going to get that $350,000 in their pocket. Now you might ask, well, what about the other $150,000? Well, my investor loan is going to want to see me bring $150,000 to the table because that's my quote unquote skin in the game to qualify for that loan. So where's that $150,000 coming from? It's coming from a private money lender, and that private money lender brings that to title. Now title is holding $350 from my investor loan and $150 from my private money lender. It satisfies the entire $500,000 purchase.
Done.
We close escrow on the deal. Deed comes in my name. Seller then refunds my private money lender their $150 back, and we create a second position note and deed of trust, seller carrying back that for them.
Little bit of cash flow for them.
Well, either that, or the way I'm structuring those seconds is I'm structuring them in silent seconds. So there's no payments, no interest for the first 10 years.
Love it.
Is there still a deed of trust?
So you can either do a deed of trust.
Yep.
Right. A silent deed of trust, or we are drafting. This is where I was leading into. Okay.
Yeah.
Heather says, well, you know, the lender I'm using doesn't want to see a second position on the house. And I go, no problem. I'll show you what I've done in the past, where I have my LLC has an ownership partnership with the seller, so that there is no second loan. The seller's interest in the property is inside my LLC, and I have a buyout agreement with the seller for the same terms of the second note and deed of trust.
Nice.
And I just went over 99% of people's brains. But here's what I did, and here's why I'm leading into this. Heather asked me a question about the Morby method. This is what I love about coaching, is instead of me just answering the question, I go, let me get my attorney on the phone with your seller's attorney. I will pay for all the paperwork and all the structuring so that I can then give that paperwork to all my students throughout the whole program.
Yeah.
Everybody benefits from it. And Heather and everybody's like, this is Sunday morning on a bonus Zoom, and you're going to spend $3,000 this week just with your attorney's fees to make sure that all your students have access to this very specific type of deal.
Yeah.
And that just goes to show you how much we all freaking love doing this, dude.
That's it.
We love doing this because there wasn't a time when you or Jamil or me were going up in this, where there was that many people on YouTube doing so much free content and helping people out, and nobody has been building communities like we have.
Right.
Yep.
That's been the biggest thing I think that's been missing from the real estate game is our 3 communities.
That's 1,000%.
Our 3 communities coming together is absolutely epic.
Get that
Nathan
bell.
Wall. Yeah, baby. What did he do? How much did he make there?
He said $26,000.
Nice. Nathan's an Astro student. Great job, Nathan.
How's that?
Very likely came from an agent.
And Medium Wave Dave closed something with a TTP family member. So congratulations on that.
Bring it right in the mic.
Yeah.
There we go. The producers out here are like,
I'll tell you what. Oh, Jared coming at it. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Did you see this deal he put together?
What do you do? All right. Closing myself on a deal and making 15K assignment fee plus walking into 80K equity with not a dime out of my pocket. Great job, Jared. Jared's an amazing, amazing dude.
Congratulations, Jared.
Yeah, baby. Nice job. Like, our communities are just closing deal after
Better
deal
ring the
after
bell.
deal after deal.
Ring the bell.
This is my
Insane,
favorite
guys.
comment of the day. This is my favorite comment of the day. Jamil, will you read this, please?
Yes. Love the Jamil squint. It's because I can't read shit. I'm like, what the hell's happening over here?
It's not just a squint, it's also a lean forward like this.
He's paying attention to
Yeah,
the,
I'm going to need like a telescope to start reading here sooner or later.
You know, I love Jared. Thank you, Jared, for this. He says, huge props to our coaches. So Jared has been a TTP student for a long time. He came out here on a TTP Friday. If you guys don't know this, I don't know any coach that does this, but Brent Daniels has his office open on Fridays for his TTP students. And I don't know, what was this, a year ago? Jared came out. He spent an extra day with Jamil and coach. It's been 2 years. Damn.
It might have been pre-COVID.
No.
It was
wasn't
after
pre-COVID.
COVID.
It was after COVID.
Yep.
So Jared comes out on TTP Friday. He meets Jamil and I. And dude, this guy takes so much freaking action. He built his entire business in Lubbock, Texas by driving for deals. So when people say, well, driving for deals doesn't work, which I actually don't ever hear people say that, but they say small markets are hard to do it in.
Yeah.
And you can't do it by yourself. Like Jared built this by just TTPing and basically skateboarding for dollars in Lubbock, Texas, right? He then goes, you know what? I need another challenge. So he moves to Charlotte. He then joins Sub 2. And this dude, I'm telling you, from the training he had at TTP, he is a freaking dynamic, like he's a freaking dragon.
Yep.
Action taker extraordinaire, man. It's amazing.
And Brittany's got 3 deals closing with Keegley franchises in Texas. She brought the buyer. So this is where she is actually dispoing 2 of Keegley's properties. Guys, if you're reaching out to a Keegley franchise and you're not getting a response, send me a DM on Instagram at @JDamji, and I will connect you to the right people. Sometimes acquisition guys leave or the phone numbers change, and so that's why you're not getting a response. So just reach out to me on Instagram and I can help you out.
Don't let Brittany go without a bell ring by.
Yeah, give Brittany Berryman a bell ring, guys.
She's actually going to be on the transformation challenge. No emotion.
She says she's making $18,000.
She's making 18 grand. She's going to be on the transformation challenge this weekend, guys. Come meet Brittany as well. She's great.
You're ringing it like this.
I'm a G.
Christina says, P&J, I closed Flipping Fireproof. That's a property that she's currently going through right now. If you guys want to follow her on Instagram, she's documenting the whole process. She closed on February 10th, 0 out of pocket using Pace's coaching. And then she used Jamil's comp that she got on his straight out of comping. She paid $45,000, $15,000 to a fellow student, $100,000 rehab, pushing for a triple-digit flip. Let's go.
Right in there. Yeah.
Dude, guys, this thing is so loud. It's
so
hard to
bad.
explain to you.
Sorry,
it's
guys.
so loud.
It's wonderful that Aaron over there has to edit this for the podcast.
Oh, he's got to take the bells out?
No, he just he dulls them down a little bit.
All right, so amazing.
Yep.
I saw in the Q&A somebody said, "Hey, Jamil, did you actually go to jail for a wholesale deal gone bad?" So whoever wrote that, watch the actual YouTube video that I did. I didn't go to jail, but I talked about how somebody did a wholesale deal where they tried to wholesale a short sale and they lied on a short sale addendum, and they signed that affidavit and ended up going to prison. They got a 17-year sentence, but it was reduced, and they're walking around now.
Yeah,
doing deals.
Closing my first virtual flip this week, making close to $55,000 profit. No out of pocket. Sub-2 mentorship is so much more than creative finance.
Incredible.
That is true.
Better go ring that bell.
Ring that bell, baby.
Oh yeah,
Ring
actually,
that bell.
Ingrid. I want to say something about Ingrid for a second.
Ring
okay?
the bell over here so that people don't.
Oh my god! I want to say something about Ingrid that I think so many people go through. Is that Ingrid for a while, she's one of these people, and this is perfectly fine. Don't beat yourself up over this. She's one of those people that need to have the majority of the answers laid out in front of her before she takes action. Okay. And that's not something to necessarily fix with yourself. It just means that, because a lot of people are like, I wish I have analysis paralysis. Guys, sometimes it's okay to have analysis paralysis. Just don't beat yourself up if you haven't gotten a deal after 2, 3, or 4 months. Have patience, stick with it. And that's what Ingrid did. Ingrid basically loaded up with knowledge for 4 or 5 months. She finally started taking action, and she was like, whoa, all of a sudden she's on fire. She'll make more money this year. She'll make 3 times more this year than she did at her corporate job. And she makes a shit ton of money at her corporate job.
Incredible.
So I think her goal this year is to quit her job, which is pretty amazing. Doesn't need to be everybody's goal, but I'm super proud of Ingrid. Taking action is what ultimately got her a ton of deals.
I want to bring up something that I've noticed happens sometimes when people aren't getting the desired result they're looking for from whatever their marketing channel is, right? So say you're cold calling, say you're doing agent outreach, say you're going after dead wholesaler leads and trying to make creative deals, right? All of these things, very viable, very, very clear paths towards a deal. Okay. Now, say what happens is you don't get the result you're looking for, and you've been at it for some time. You start to get discouraged. Then all of a sudden, say you're cold calling, and somebody from Astro Flipping says, "Oh, you shouldn't cold call. You should do this."
Right.
And they stop doing the work that they've been doing over here, and all the follow-ups, and all the things, and all of the investment, all the time and equity that they've built up in their marketing efforts here. They go and try this other thing, and then they'll do that for a few weeks, and maybe they don't get the result they're looking for. And then all of a sudden someone says, "Hey, you know what you should be doing? Dead wholesaler leads. Go try and convert those into," and so they're like, "Oh, great. Yeah, I heard there's a lot of great results happening there." So they stop doing what they're doing over here, and then they get over here and they start doing that. All the while not realizing that they've built equity here that they're losing in their outreach, whether it had been cold calling or agents or to wholesalers. So what do we say to those people that are constantly shifting from methodology to methodology to methodology to methodology because they can't keep their asses in the desk for a second to do something?
I think Brent's probably the most qualified to answer this question.
It's 90 days.
90 days.
You gotta consistently do it for 90 days. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's MLS deals. I don't care if it's agent outreach. I don't care if it's calling the distressed property owners yourself. I don't care if you're going after pre-foreclosures, if you're going for driving for dollars, if you're going for whatever it is, if you're getting internet leads, if you're doing direct mail, whatever it is, 90-day minimum. That's the hardest part. The hardest part is we are used to quitting things in the first 6 weeks, in the first 6 days, really. But that 90-day push to really keep going and really stay focused and really just chop the wood, carry the water, do it every single day, 90 days through. That is the biggest, that is the stop. And then when you stop and you go, oh, I'm not going to do any more calls, I'm going to do this other thing, you restart your 90 days.
That's just it. And it's what you're not realizing, you don't get to just start again and say, okay, I'm going to go back now to cold calling.
Right.
You have to start from the beginning. So guys, like, get real with how much time and effort you're spending on the one thing. Yep. Look, each of us teach different ways to get out there and do the business, and we all do business. Mm-hmm. Every one of us does an incredible volume of numbers, an incredible volume of deals. Mm-hmm. You have to find what resonates with you and then stick to it.
That's right.
Stick to it. That's, I think, like you said, it's the hardest thing.
If you don't have a budget, you have to be proactive. So where do you want your proactivities to go towards? Do you want to go and talk to agents? Do you want to just start looking at deals on the MLS? Do you want to start going direct to the seller? Do you want to go to other wholesalers and try to be, get in there and micro flip them? All of these things matter. It just depends on doing it consistently.
Right.
They all work. It all works. It all works, especially if you're starting with not a huge marketing budget. If you have a huge marketing budget, you can play around in having people call you. If you don't have a huge marketing budget, you have to put yourself in their lives, in the lives of strangers that have some sort of distress situation, that want to sell their property. They want to sell it and give potential equity in that property for speed and convenience.
So I want to address this just real quick, this 90-day rule, because I always tell people you cannot tell me you've been consistent until day 91.
Right.
Day 91 is the first day you can tell me you've been consistent.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And here's the question. Why does Jamil do the transformation challenge? And then why did Jamil do the secret agent challenge? Why does Pace do the 0 to hero? If you look right here, Winston says, I'm following the 0 to hero challenge. And we do 0 to hero season 1. We've done 0 to hero season 2. We're doing 0 to hero season 3. And then 0 to hero season 4 is me moving to somebody's town for 30 days. Why do we do so many challenges? Here's the answer. The answer is not everybody's going to resonate with every individual strategy. And so what we're trying to do is come up with new ways to attract the right people into the right lane. If all we did is go cold call, or door knock, you're not going to be successful. However, if you look in the audience, you're going to see people door knocking. You're going to see people crushing with cold calling, texting, postcards, referrals, PPC, SEO, MLS, right? Like, that is the biggest challenge in this business, is there are too many ways to succeed. So pick one and don't beat yourself up until 91. If you had day 91, if you haven't gotten a deal, don't even think about it. Just go through the process. Go all the way through the 90 days before you deviate and you go to another lane. Somebody just said something really like.
A real 90 days.
Real 90 days. And don't bullshit yourself.
Not that I've made thousands of calls, I don't have any leads, and then you dig a little deeper, 2 hours of calls a month.
Brent, I got an email today. Somebody said, not a student. Some people get my email or my cell phone from Steve Trang's podcast from 3 years ago. Freaking Steve freaking Trang. So I get an email from somebody and they go, I'm frustrated is the subject line. I'll pull it up.
Yeah.
I'll pull it up. I want to show it to you.
Yeah.
How many phone calls do you think they had made? They told me the amount of phone calls they made. How many do you think they made before they gave up and said, I'm frustrated?
20.
500.
Okay.
500. Do you have the right?
No. You only talked to 50 people at that point.
That's
maybe.
All they didn't
maybe
even talk.
35.
They said they talked to about 30 to 35 people.
Yep. 35 to 50, 7% contact rate. You talk to 35 people. You need to talk to 200. That's the number.
Okay, so go through that. Go through that real
property
quick.
Owners. Yes.
So I have a 7% contact rate.
Yes.
And I have to talk to how many people?
You need to talk to 200 people personally that are in some sort of distressed situation, right? Whether that be driving for dollars, whether that be vacant houses, whether it be tired landlords, whether it just be they no longer want to live in this property, they want to downsize, but it's in really, really rough condition. It's a hoarder house, whatever it is. It can't just be like people that have beautiful, pristine houses that you're having conversations with. And I think maybe the numbers are the same with agents.
100%.
Maybe less. I don't know.
With agents, the way that it typically works for us is if you're having at least 30 to 50 contacts
Yes.
with agents a day, you will do between 3 and 5 deals a month guaranteed. There's no way,
for sure.
No way you can't get
that.
that.
Say
that number again.
You'll do at least 3 to 5 deals through an agent if you're talking to 35 to 50 agents a day.
How much money would I make from that average?
$100,000, dude. That would an agent deal will typically get you about $25,000.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
But people won't do it.
Why?
They'll get
Why?
Brother,
Squad.
victim. I'm telling you, man, you start feeling real sorry for yourself after the day gets hard, after your butt starts hurting, after agents don't answer the phone, after you get hungry for lunch, after your wife or your spouse looks at you and says that you're crazy.
Or you ain't shit.
Or all the things. Victim.
How about right before you're about to call this list of agents that you have, you go on Instagram, see some dude balling out with his new Robinhood account or something, right? And you're like, well, wait a second.
Yeah, now you feel bad about yourself. Victim.
Right.
Victim.
Yeah. Will you put, are you able to put up that quote that I love? Is that possible? I love this quote. This right here.
Yep.
Am
I messing up with your mouse? I love this. We're having a mouse war right now. I'm controlling
mouse off.
you. I'm controlling you.
But I really want you guys to think about that stuff. I really want you guys to focus on that.
Zachary Hamilton, straight up.
When are you being honest with yourself, and when are you allowing an excuse? Here's the thing: if any other reason for your success is outside of you, like if somebody says, "Why aren't you succeeding?" and your answer is not because I'm not doing it. If you have any other reason, you're a liar.
Yeah, it's holding you back.
You're lying.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying that to you in a mean way. I'm just saying it to you. You are 1,000% responsible for the outcome of your life. 1,000% responsible for it.
I love this quote. Look at this. 90% of success can be boiled down to consistently doing the obvious thing for an uncommonly long period of time without convincing yourself that you are smarter than you are. Right?
I don't think you left that up there long enough, dude.
Yeah, put it back up.
Hit it one more time.
Get this tattooed on you guys.
It's Valentine's Day, bro.
Yep.
Hit it one more time. You know what I'm saying? Just tap that ass twice. Okay, 90% of success can be boiled down to consistently doing the obvious thing. The obvious thing for an uncommonly long period of time. Uncommonly long period of time. Love that. Without convincing yourself that you're smarter than you are. That last part right there, Brent, help me understand what the hell that means.
Everything. Because then what happens is you will win. If you talk to enough people, when you talk to enough people, you get deals. And then you go, well, I'm ready to scale. I'm ready to scale after my first deal. You know, I'm ready now that I've got wholesaling down. Now I'm going to start building this portfolio. I'm going to start doing all these other things. I'm going to start getting distracted if you just build a company that sources discounted properties, you can do everything you want. Every goal that you have with building wealth can happen once you build the machine of sourcing discounted properties. That's it. So you just focus on that. Keep it, stay there, stay in the saddle, keep making the calls. I'm telling you.
What do you think of this? Are you neglecting your wife right now to be here?
No. That's hilarious. No. No.
How about you?
Absolutely not. No, I'm not neglecting my wife. I spent 2 hours.
I think he's saying it in jest,
weekend.
obviously, but yeah, we had a really nice dinner Saturday.
How was it? What did you guys do after dinner?
Well, I mean, it's not for the young audience here, but involved a lot of tickling.
I love it.
A lot of tickling.
Is there a different acronym for TTP that we could come up with real quick?
Oh, there's probably a lot that people can put in there. After, what does TTP stand for after a date? I'll leave it up to the audience to decide.
I love it. Okay, cool.
I think the most common is touch the.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Slang word.
touch the slang word. Touch the pineapple.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so get your questions out there, guys.
Hey,
Come on, question for me.
Squint your eyes, bro.
Okay.
Let's see this.
Yeah.
Russian Eskimo. Again, I think what is a Russian Eskimo? Is that a thing?
I don't know.
Okay. Russian Eskimo's question for Jamil. My favorite states are Florida and Texas. Since dual agency is not allowed, will designated agency create motivation for the agents? Any tips for non-disclosure? Okay, that's a lot of questions, Eskimo. First and foremost, go back to that so I can get them in tickle the pickle. So I can get them in their pieces. Okay. So Eskimo. God, I hate saying that. Mo, here's what's up. Texas, absolutely, dual agency is not allowed. I don't believe that that's the case in Florida. In Texas, you're 100% right. Here's what I will do to skirt the whole dual agency thing. I say to the agent, do you have an agent that you love, like a referral, a partner, a friend, a daughter, a brother, somebody in your office that you'd like to refer the business to? Yep. Automatically, they're like, you know what? I do. And they think about somebody that they'd love to walk that listing over, or to walk you over as a buyer and have them represent you. Again, you're doing the same thing. You're creating a benefit to them on both sides of the transaction that make them want to work with you. So you can still skirt dual agency by bringing in or asking them to bring in somebody they know. That way, they're still incentivized for you to do the deal. Secondly, with respect to tips for non-disclosure states, use batchleads.io/Jamil.
Yep.
Squad.
Say that slower.
Use batchleads.io/squad, because that'll help you run all your comps in non-disclosure states.
Man, there's some good ones on here.
I think Jared's right now.
I like the total touching party. That sounds like my type of party.
Okay, so
I want to talk about this question from Sean.
Yep. For Sean on there.
I'm texting Jared Frankham right now. Jared, get an iPhone, bro, because I'm not going to text you back till you get an iPhone. I'm very sorry. I love you, but get an iPhone. Sean has a question about what?
Sean asked, can we talk about an agent asking an agent to delist a property?
Make sure you give context of what that means.
Okay, so here's what's up.
And why you would need that before you talk about how to do it.
Yes, love it. So you found a great deal on the MLS.
Yes.
Okay, it's been first day that it's been listed, so it's a fresh deal. There's a lot of activity. You call the agent. She's like, oh, my God, I'm getting calls all over the place. And you build rapport with her. And she says, sure, I'll represent you and we can get your contract in. And now you're under contract on this great deal that you found on the MLS and it's priced right. And now you've got this problem because it's listed on the MLS and you fear that your buyers aren't going to want to buy a deal that is listed on the MLS. Right. So first and foremost, I want to tell you the first attack that you need to have is to your fear that a deal on the MLS won't sell, because that's not true. I buy deals that are listed on the MLS all the time. They are more difficult. Yes, and some buyers don't like seeing deals that are listed on the MLS. So can you ask an agent to take the property off the MLS? Absolutely. This is the reasons why I tell the agent to delist it. First, I say, thank you so much for helping me get this deal under contract. Here's the problem. When I buy a property that's listed on the MLS and you've actually put a price stamp on the MLS now when I go to fix that property and sell it, an appraiser is going to see what you listed the property at. And that creates a price stamp for me. That price stamp hurts me when I go to try to resell the property, because some banks, some appraisers don't want to see me make a profit. Do you mind taking your listing down? And sometimes they will. They won't always say yes, but sometimes they will. So that is absolutely a viable reason to ask an agent to take a property off the MLS.
Or at least it sets up for a further conversation that next time before you list it,
bring it to me. Right. But I've had it be where 50-50, they'll say, sure. Yeah, absolutely. You just got to not be fearful of asking the question.
I would also say that it's probably with the flat fee brokerages is more likely to let that happen than the bigger
You know
brokerages.
What? I've asked Monique to delist a property that's listed on the MLS, and now she'll just snap it right off.
She doesn't go into like some of these companies have team meetings and they have all their stats up and all this stuff.
If there's any more of a bureaucratic brokerage, it's not flat fee. She's 90-10.
That's
not a flat fee.
That's not flat fee.
She's charging a full 6% to her clients. Yes. So I'm saying, guys, here's what it is. Don't defeat yourself before you ask. ask the agent. They might say no, but it's always worth asking.
It at least sets it up for the further.
Absolutely.
Bring it to you before it hits the market.
Yep.
Take the package. That's a good one.
Oh my God.
Or take the property off the MLS.
How about Time to Poo by Crazy David?
Crazy David. My gosh, bro.
It was a big dinner. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my God! Time to poo.
Time to poo.
Let's go TTP.
David.
Daniel says,
David's
how to
wild.
structure this sub 2. Seller
Okay.
has $30,000 in arrears and not paying mortgage, but can't move till kids are done with school in June.
Mm-hmm.
PITI 650, rent's going for $1,500 North Carolina, hybrid then wrap. Daniel, here's what you do. Hybrid, assigned to pace. I'm buying in North Carolina. I want the deal. Send it to me. I will be your buyer. DM me on Instagram. Anytime you guys have a deal in North Carolina, creative finance wise, I am your buyer. So that's the easiest way to get that deal done. And if you need me to call your seller and close up the deal, I will do that for you. All right. DM me, please. Time to park. I do like that.
Package.
That's not park. That's not park, bro.
Okay, here's one right here. Seller wants me to buy his property, but he wants to stay for a year after I buy. How would I structure this? Now, I do this with creative finance all the time. With seller finance, it's incredibly easy, right? You can lock in a price. Seller then stays in the property for a year. You get sellers sometimes that go, market's at an all-time high. I want to sell it right now. Lock in a price with you, and then I move out in a year, and then you can start making me payments once I move out of the property. That's an easy answer, okay? But if it's a cash deal, I would say that you would just have to buy it super deep, right? Is that the answer?
And I think you can shorten that timeline. I think you can shorten. Why a year?
Right.
You know what I mean? What happens in a year? What's magical about a year? That's what I'd ask. You know, could it be 6 months? Could it be, you know what I mean? So I think that you could probably negotiate to get that shorter. It'd be a post possession, but then you'd have to get it at a significant discount for an investor to stick around with it. But by the way, investors are sticking it out because they appreciation over the next year. All of a sudden, this 30K deal turns into 60, 70K deal, depending on where the market is.
Okay, so Brittany Berryman, I love this question because I do buy and hold in Texas, and I'm currently doing a sub 2 deal in Arlington, which is in DFW. Brittany Berryman, why are so many investors against buy and holds in Texas? It is because your property taxes are total shit.
Yeah,
I have houses that I'm paying $16,000 to $21,000 a year in property taxes, and so what most creative finance investors in Texas, you know what they're doing? They're seller financing. So they buy a house sub 2 or on seller finance. They turn around and they sell it on seller finance. So they're not in charge of the property taxes, the insurance, and all that kind of stuff. Their new buyer who bought it on a wrap is. For me, if I'm going to do anything other than Airbnb in Texas, I can't afford to keep a property in Texas because your property taxes are total shit. That's the answer. Sorry.
Love it.
Destiny, if you are reaching out to a Keegley franchise and having a hard time, I said this earlier in the show, send me a DM on IG and I will help connect you. Sometimes people's phone numbers change and people move and whatnot, so reach out to me. What does that say?
This is Jamil. You got to, if you squint, you'll see it.
Davin Woolridge said, yo, Jamil, I've been TTPing direct to seller, but I am now starting to do some agent outreach. I have your script for reaching out, but what do I say for follow-up? Great question. Obviously, hey, do you have a new house for me? So
people do that.
Yeah, 100%. So
people do that
when
all the
you
time.
are in your initial conversation, right? You want to set your follow-up in the initial conversation. That's something that I love stressing. Like, so if you don't have anything for me today, no problem. What I'm going to do is I'm going to diarize to call you back in a week, 2 weeks to see if you've got anything that fits the bill. Is that cool? And then in a couple of weeks, you just reach back out. Hey, it's me, Jamil again. I talked to you a couple of weeks ago. I'm looking for the ugly house, the dirty house, the hoarder house. Do you have anything that came to market since the last time we spoke? And you just keep doing that over and over. It's whack-a-mole. You are literally playing whack-a-mole with the agents. You just want to pop up the day or the week that they are having that appointment, having that conversation, and you are going to be the person that they are going to bring the deal to. No one is going to remember you. Let me just tell you that now. Unless you're me. No, kidding. No one is going to remember you. Even if you're me, even if you're Pace or Brent, especially real estate agents, they get busy. They're not, even if you have an incredible conversation with them, you feel like you've built the most incredible bond and relationship, and they still won't remember you when they have that cruddy house. you have to pop up. You have to pop up. So you got to just keep sending those messages over and over and over again. Don't worry about annoying them. They will tell you, stop, leave me alone. I don't have anything. Then you can reduce your cadence. Until then, just keep at it. They appreciate it.
All right. So this is a phenomenal question. A lot of people really need to worry about this right now. I can tell you, I have not paid taxes. I have not paid income taxes in probably 6 years because of my ability to buy enough properties to wipe out my income taxes through something called depreciation. If I were you, John, and you're doing real estate, the smartest way to pay zero taxes is 1 out of every 5 or 1 out of every 10 it's probably more like 1 out of every 10 wholesale deals you buy. You should buy a rental. Okay. Buy an Airbnb, 1 out of 10, because that 10th property will make it so you can wipe out all your income on the other 9 properties. That's the magic answer for not paying any taxes.
How would that 10th one knock out income?
Because the IRS allows you to have a credit every single year for a percentage of that property you own.
What percentage?
So here's how you figure it out. Okay. Let's say I have a house right now I'm buying in Atlanta for $800,000.
Yep.
So take that $800,000 and divide it by 27 and a half years. Okay. So let's figure that out. It's really great. I love thank you for letting me answer this question. Nothing makes me
5,300.
Okay. No, it should be more than that.
I don't know.
So $800,000 divided by 27.5 years.
Yeah.
Now, why is it 27.5 years? Is because the IRS says that if you bought the house today, by our calculation, in 27 and a half years, that house will be basically worth nothing because it will have fallen apart.
Right.
So you get a credit every year for one portion of that 27 and a half years.
Yep.
So on an $800,000 house, I get a credit of 29 grand in my first year.
What does that mean? Did they give you that money?
No. What it means is I can go make $29,000 in my wholesale business and not pay any taxes on it.
Got it.
Okay. It cancels each other.
You make way more than that pay. So how do you write off all of them?
So the way I do it is I have accelerated depreciation, which allows me to take 7 of those years up front. So I can do $203,000 in tax credits on one property. $203,000.
So you make $2 million. That knocks it down to 1.8.
1.8.
And then you have more.
Yep.
And more.
Right. This is why I say buy 1 out of every 10.
And I think people really need to understand that this is a wealth building hack. The government does a terrible job, nor do they want to do a job of housing. Right. Nor do they want to do the job of creating businesses. That's why entrepreneurs, through our LLCs, we get to spend, then get taxed, income spend, get taxed, right? And then what you're saying is you take that money, you put it into investment property, get a rapid depreciation of 7 years, and boom, you're knocking down that income that you have every single year.
Yeah, and if you guys want a more,
and the government's fine with it.
They're not just fine with it. They're like, wait.
They encourage it.
You don't have any depreciation? What the hell are you doing?
They don't want to. Listen, the government does not want to employ everybody, nor does the government want to be responsible for housing. That's why they have this in place. If you're wondering, is it just a bunch of rich people that lobby to get this thing done? No, this is the foundation that our country's built on is the free market. Right? Free capital markets. We get to go out there and decide to create an entity, which is like a human, but not really. It's a business. And then we got to do all these incredible things once we create it. Talk to me about Steve Howard.
Okay. So Steve Harward, owner of primecorporateservices.com. Okay. Go to primecorporateservices.com. Tell them that we sent you, primecorporateservices.com. Prime is amazing because they'll help you set up an LLC. And I'm telling people, and I'm going to let Jamil talk about this. Okay. I believe you need 2 things to have a legitimate business. Okay. Number 1, I believe you have to have an LLC accompanied with a bank account, and you also need to have leads in order to have a business. If you don't have either one of those, you have a hobby. Okay. And I'm okay with hobbies. Okay. We all need hobbies. It's cool. But if you want to have a legitimate business, you should have an LLC and leads. Jamil, what is the mindset of having an LLC or not having an LLC? Are you fully committed? Or are you maybe fearful of success if you don't have an LLC? Like, why would you not just go get an LLC?
You're still on the fence. you're still not 1000% sold or bought in your own belief that what you're doing is real. So you're not willing to invest time. You're not willing to invest energy, money. You're not willing to take even the risk to go get an LLC and open a bank account. How can you say that anybody should do business with you? Why should any homeowner, any agent, or any wholesaler do a deal with you if you're not even willing to go and start an LLC?
Right. So we use primecorporateservices.com. Tell them we sent you, primecorporateservices.com. Jamil, here's another question regarding that. And I'm going to answer this question a little bit more in depth, especially since tax season is around the corner, which is why I think that we should elaborate on this just for a second. If I have an LLC and now I have a bank account with that LLC's name on it, does that give me a vibration into the universe that I'm open for business and there's now
100%.
a place for money to be sent?
It's a real thing. It's a real thing. You are now actually proving that you are invested. You are energetically invested in this process. I have a tax implication. I have a bank account. I have obligations now that I've created for myself because I'm making this a real thing in my life. Look, guys, if this is going to remain a hobby for you, then get hobbies results.
Yep.
That's it. That's it. Expect that and be okay with that.
Yeah.
If this is entertainment for you, then be entertained. Okay?
Are you not entertained?
But that's just what it is. If this is life or death for you, then take a step. I'll tell you what. If I'm not feeling well, if something's going on in my body, what's the one thing if I care about myself, and I want to live, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna go see a doctor. I'm gonna get advice. I'm gonna do the thing that shows the universe I give a shit. Right?
Yep.
If you are trying to build a business, if you are trying to do this, then you have to take a step. You have to take a step towards this being real.
Yep.
That's it.
Okay, so here's the actual answer to that. Okay, if you are somebody who doesn't have an LLC and you've got a deal done, you're going to pay more taxes than somebody who has an LLC. So I can't really explain this perfectly, but if you're making under $200,000 a year in your wholesale business, you're going to put probably the smart thing to do is put about 20 to 25% to the side just to be safe. It probably will end up being closer to 15% at the end of the year.
Right.
If you're making over $400,000 a year in wholesale, which we have a lot of freaking people doing that, you're going to be paying closer to 43% in income taxes in your wholesale business. So think about the math there. If my average sub-2 deal, okay, my average sub-2 or seller finance deal that I buy and I acquire and I hold in my portfolio, the cost to pay an assignment fee, close escrow, get it up and running, do all the things is about 30 grand right now.
Okay.
About 30 grand.
Yep.
Now I typically will raise private capital to pay for that 30 grand. So I'm still out of pocket $0. But if I go make $500,000 in my wholesale business, would I rather go buy anywhere between 8 to 10 sub-2 deals with the money that I would be paying to the IRS, or would I rather just pay $250,000 to the IRS with that money?
Well, the IRS needs money.
I guess the IRS needs money. They need to spend it on something. So guys, think about this when you're in your wholesale business and as you're acquiring cash, make sure you are looking at an equation. For us, it's at 1 out of 5 deals that we touch, we end up putting in our portfolio. When I started, it was 1 out of 20. And then you start snowballing. You need to grow wealth. Wealth. All right. But for new wholesalers, I'd say 15 to 20% minimum, put it to the side.
Why do you think that single family houses have become an asset class for hedge funds?
That's our Jamil question.
I mean, we could go real deep with some of this, not to get off the, wholesaling questions, but it's a real asset class. It's here to stay.
100%.
Hedge funds are here to stay. They might run out of money here and there, but it is an asset class now. And it wasn't really before.
It wasn't, but here's what they gain from single family versus multifamily.
Yeah.
Liquidity. You can go out and you could buy $4 million worth of multifamily, but if you want to sell $4 million worth of multifamily, you have to sell $4 million worth of multifamily. Yeah. If you want to buy $4 million worth of single family, you can sell off $100,000, $200,000 houses at a time. So you get that same benefit of being able to make that huge purchase, but you get the instant liquidity of being able to piece it off step by step without having to strata title or individually title an entire apartment building. So that's first and foremost. Second, hedge funds are seeing, just like Pace had mentioned today in one of his stories. I do watch your Instagram, and we've been talking about this since before and during the pandemic. Of course, during the pandemic, what was the one thing we kept talking about is, guys, we are printing money and houses are protected against inflation. That's what housing is. It's one of those assets.
How does it protect against inflation?
Because housing goes up with inflation. Right. In fact, I took this is what you're talking about? My story this morning? Were you on the toilet reading my stories? Is that where you were?
Real quick, Pace, for your portfolio in 2021, how much higher did your net worth go up? By just breathing.
$6 million.
That's right.
I made $6 million.
Can you divide that by 365, please?
Oh yeah, I'd love that.
I'd like to know how much you're passively adding to your family's wealth.
Okay, divided by 365, right? That's how many days are in the year?
Yep.
Okay, I didn't know that. I was today years old when I learned that.
What?
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay. And by the way, the question on the screen right now says, do I have to be in Utah to use Prime Corporate Services? The answer is no. We have students all over the country using Prime Corporate Services, and
I have a student in Canada who's using Prime Corporate Services.
Oh, that's dope.
Yes.
Okay, so if the appreciation on my assets went up $6 million last year, how much money do you guys think I made daily?
20,000.
$16,438 a day.
I used to write down, honestly, every single day I used to write down on my thing, I'm going to make $10,000 today. I'm going to make $10,000 today. I'm going to make $10,000 today. Because when we start out, it's our efforts, right? It's chopping and carrying, right? I mean, and to the point where you decide that you want to invest instead of spend the profits that you make. So the more people you talk to, the faster this works for you. All right. And I don't care if you're talking to agents or you're talking directly to the homeowners, or if they're calling you, the more people you talk to, the faster you're going to be able to build up a pile of cash that you can then invest in assets, which then create little babies. They create baby monies all over. That's creating wealth. What we do, getting rich, is what you do on a daily basis to get income coming to you and your family into your business. What you do with that income is become wealthy by investing and earning almost $20,000 a day. A day.
That's even on Saturday and Sunday.
By the way, it keeps compounding.
Yeah.
It keeps
nasty.
going.
It gets nasty.
How do people buy these fancy houses and these fancy boats, and they go on these fancy things and have all these? I just don't understand how they do it. That's how you do it.
Yes.
You go out with your efforts, because your efforts equal your income. That's it. The amount of value you provide to the world is equal to how much you get paid. And what you do with that, that's the magic. That's creating wealth.
That's a tough pill for a lot of people to swallow. Look at your bank account right now and your actual net worth, and it is equal to how much value that you bring in the business environment.
And then the value that your portfolio brings to the world is then going to work for you. That's how people get control of their life, which we call financial freedom.
There you go.
Yeah.
Dorianne says, Pace, I think you've covered this before. I probably have, but I love covering shit multiple times. Would you please comment on the benefit of using Prime Corporate Services to form an LLC over do-it-yourself through the Secretary of State? Yes. Let me give you a couple of analogies. Is there a benefit to doing my own landscape myself? Yeah, I guess if I really enjoy doing it, but I understand delegation is the only way to true wealth. And so you have to learn how to delegate properly to professionals. That's number one. Learn how to delegate, hire professionals. Number two, they will tell you exactly how to set it up, what state, and how to add anonymity, because I have had tenants come to sue me. You imagine if my tenants knew I had social media presence, I was on a TV show, they could go make comments on stuff, on my stuff. I don't want my tenants knowing anything about me. So going through Prime Corporate Services, getting full anonymity is huge. Another thing is setting things up properly. You know how many people set up their shit wrong and then they come back 5 years later, 7 years? I'm one of those people, and I'm pretty smart. I was one of those people. It took me 7 years to unravel the LLCs I started myself. I did them incorrectly. An LLC is not an LLC. This is why Prime Corporate Services exists. And if you call them and you tell them we sent you, they will do a free consultation for you. I believe they'll give you 45 minutes. Okay. If you're not a sub 2 student or an Astro student or a TTP student, they're not going to give you the exact discount that our students get, but you're going to get a free consultation. Guys, use a professional to do professional shit.
Yep.
Okay. Nothing's more stressful than the tax man coming after you and you didn't set up your stuff properly. Okay. The other thing is Prime Corporate Services actually does tax planning. Okay. You actually can strategize and talk about how to mitigate and lower your tax burden. You make money by hiring a professional. It's not about saving money. They will actually make you money. Okay. I actually think we should bring Prime Corporate Services in here in the next couple of weeks. What do you guys think? How to set up your corporate structure properly for a wholesaler.
Yep.
Love it.
Okay,
Love
cool. Jamil, you want me to click on this? Where'd you want me to go? I'm sorry.
Oh, I didn't have anything.
Or you were just like, please move on from this. It's boring.
Nope.
All right, guys. So what we'll do is we'll bring in Prime Corporate Services here in the next couple of weeks, and we'll make sure that the Wholesale Hotline people get a discount code.
For
cool?
sure. Yep.
All right, cool. Tech Neno says yes. Do use a professional. Jamil, do you do your own landscaping?
No.
Brent, do you do your own landscaping?
No.
Do you have time for that?
I don't own a lawnmower.
Personal or home.
Smart.
I don't
Delegate
own.
your time.
I don't own a edger or a weed whacker or a blower.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Do you have a drill?
I do have a drill.
Do you use your drill?
Yeah, of course. You know,
Only on Valentine's Day.
that's it. What was it? Take the pork.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I love it.
Taking the pork.
I love it.
All right.
Are you not entertained?
Yeah.
All right. I think okay, Jamil, Russian Eskimos on it. If we are wholesaling on market, should we aim for fix and flips or buy and hold buyers?
Oh, either way, it doesn't matter. You should always be looking at the pricing based on the condition and always looking for a fix and flip opportunity, right? That's what I'm trying. If we're looking at just nice houses and trying to create rentals out of them and lowball, that's when this conversation of lowballing happens, because we're writing offers on properties that are obviously in good shape that are below what they're worth. So I'm always looking for the opportunity to add value. Here's the thing, guys. Remember, as wholesalers, all we're doing is selling potential. If I don't see the potential to add value, then it's not a deal. So on market, off market, on MLS, off MLS, I'm always evaluating as if it's a fix and flip.
What do you think about the amount of inventory in a market? Because here in Phoenix, if you lock up something here, even at the price that they want, they've got backup offers even higher and higher and higher and higher.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's a question about
it's a different kind of user. It's a different kind of user. So, and I want to Eskimo. I want to also talk about markets where fix and flips don't make sense either. Right. So there are going to be markets like, let's, for instance, Birmingham, Alabama. You might be able to buy a house for $20,000, but it's only worth $60,000 fixed up. And it's going to cost $60,000 to fix it up. So does it make any sense as a fix and flip? No. But it could make total sense for a cash flow. But that's that kind of market. That's not a market where fixing and flipping works. That's a rental market. So you have to identify what kind of market you're in first before you start to determine if you're going to be writing offers for fix and flip or for rental. Sorry.
No, and I also, the comment somebody had posted about Southern California as a market, and can we lock it up close to retail? Absolutely. I am telling you.
I mean, Southern California right now, I'm seeing stuff trade between 80, 83, 85% of ARV, but the prices are so high there, and they appreciate so quickly. So nowhere in Southern California is anybody evaluating stuff for rental. Okay, because the rents in SoCal are trash,
right?
And there are rentals out there, but people don't necessarily want to buy and hold rentals in SoCal because they're hard to do. You're just about to buy one, but you're going to go short term. You're not going to go long term rental on that thing.
Yeah, I'm buying a house in Hollywood Hills, 17 minutes from your house on the beach.
Yes.
Come on, are you really?
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's going to be an Airbnb. So yeah, it'll be good. You're welcome to stay there anytime.
Fancy
you want next Valentine's Day? I want you to go make a mess at my house.
Fancy pansies.
Fancy pansies. I left Eddie Charger's name up on the screen because I want to shout out Eddie. I love Eddie. Out in Atlanta, he's one phenomenal. Of the best people ever. Eddie Charger.
I have a picture of Eddie on my wall right now.
You do?
Yeah.
Eddie came out here and didn't come see me?
No, I went to Atlanta.
Oh, you went to Atlanta?
Mhm.
Okay.
I have
So
a picture in my wallet of Eddie.
are you serious?
Yes.
What the hell?
You just one up on me?
So I just got off the phone, or Jamil and I actually just got off the phone with Big Boy from Outcast.
You did?
Yes, we
What?
did.
No, you
Yeah,
didn't.
100%. Right before we walked in here, we got off the phone with the Big Boy from Outcast. We are going to be doing an Atlanta meetup. We're going to be doing an Atlanta meetup all about real estate. Big Boy's doing short-term rentals in
No.
Atlanta.
Yeah,
Yep. You want to come out? Probably in 30
I might
days.
have to at that
You might
one.
have to.
Let me see.
We're going to do an Atlanta meetup. Big Boy and his son Bamboo are buying more Airbnbs, and we're consulting on Bamboo's growth and his real estate endeavors. And so Big Boy's going to come out. We're going to do a meetup. We're going to come out there and see everybody in Atlanta sometime between the next 30 to 60 days. So Eddie Charger, as always, you're going to be the guy that helps us round everybody up in Atlanta. It is our favorite city. Jamil and I are going to be staying in my Airbnb in Atlanta, Ansley Park. We're going to have a good time.
Used to be where Outcast had their whole. They had all their people stayed in that house too, right?
Yes.
That's their house.
Yes.
That was their roadie house.
That was their roadie house. So we're going to be hanging out in Atlanta 30 to 60 days. Just want to give you guys a little bit of knowledge there. The other thing is this coming week, Richard Knowles, who's in SoCal, Jamil and I are going to be coming out to LA to do a walkthrough on my Hollywood Hills purchase, to talk about what should we do here, how much money we're going to spend. Let's turn this thing into an Airbnb. We're trying to get Tarek El Moussa out to the property to kind of get his consulting. Hopefully I can leverage some of his contractors that do some of his shit, and we can have it
work.
Oh yeah, I'm probably going to put $500,000 into it.
Woo!
And then I'll do don't tell anybody, but I'm going to do the burst strategy on this shit.
Uh-oh.
I'm buying it for 1.3. One of my students bought it for 1.3. They're
Wow.
signing it to me for how much money?
1.35.
1.5. They're making $200,000 assignment fee on this bad
Still
boy.
seems like a deal to me.
Still- Yeah.
It's a deal.
It's a good deal.
I'm going to put probably between $400,000 and $500,000 in it, between renovating it, like decking this thing out, making it amazing, furnishings, all that kind of stuff. And then I'm going to refinance it somewhere around 2.3 to 2.5. And I'll basically have no money into the deal.
Awesome.
It'll be great.
Yeah.
The burst strategy, it works when you buy a property at basically 50% of its ARV.
Do you have to get a license to do Airbnb in SoCal?
Let's not talk about it.
Yeah. I didn't know if they only give magic tickets. Yeah.
It's a very strange thing in Southern California.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
All
So I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of some information on the Airbnb stuff. Okay, so I've got 3 ways I do Airbnbs.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I have a neighborhood that allows for Airbnbs, I
Right.
just go straight up Airbnb or VRBO. If it's a neighborhood or an HOA that has problems with it, I still go Airbnb or VRBO until they tell me I can't.
Sure.
And then I immediately go over to furnishedfinder.com.
Mhm.
And I then start utilizing people for long-term stays, all that kind of stuff. The third way I'm doing it is I found a new company that contracts with nurses and doctor groups
Yeah, that's great.
for traveling nurses and doctor groups. They're not online. It's literally just a company that's going and searching for properties. So I just say, hey, I have these properties available. They manage them and take care of them. So I've got a property in Arlington, Texas that is strict, no Airbnb, VRBO. The neighborhood and HOA is on our shit. I'm actually going to make more money going with traveling nurses than I would with VRBO
Sure.
and our Airbnb.
Sure.
So there's always a solution, guys. Don't ever take no for an answer.
Awesome.
All right.
Yeah, I saw that.
Love this. What a great day. All
Great
right.
show.
Guys, I'm going to bring it up again this Friday.
Oh,
Starting
yeah.
this Friday, this Saturday, and this Sunday is my transformation challenge, where I'm going to show you how you can transform your life in one deal. And I'm going to have Brittany Berryman, Michelle Garabito, and Ryan Zolan, who has perfected this technique that I taught them on how to find deals on the MLS, actually find real deals on the MLS. So we're going to be going through different strategies and tools that allow you to
$500,000
scrape.
this month.
He made $500,000 this month on
He's made
market deals
740 grand
since the beginning of the year. Yeah. All on market, guys. These are all on MLS deals that he's scraping. So he's using a tool to scrape the MLS, and it does all the evaluation for him. So he's not sitting there looking at every house on the MLS trying to see, is this a deal? Is it not a deal? Is this a deal? Not a deal? It does all the work for you. So anyways, sign up. Link is going to be in here right now. If you haven't already signed up, I'm going to limit the spots to like 500. So if you don't show up and you don't sign up, you don't get it. You don't get it. And there's not going to be any replays. I'm sorry. I'm not being a jerk about it. I just get in trouble every time I do because people are like, hey, send me that replay. No, just show up.
Yeah, I agree with that. Next week, guys, we've got Jerry Norton in the house.
That's right.
I don't use Jerry Norton's Flipster software, but I love Jerry Norton as a human being. I think he's one of the funnest people to collab with. He's been in the business over 18 years. He knows his stuff. He is like a big brother to a lot of us. We love Jerry. I don't know anything about his Flipster software other than I hear people use it. That's what I know.
Yep.
He can answer that next week, Michael. So stay tuned.
What are we going to be doing with him next week?
We're
going to be doing Q&A and maybe a little bit of Jerry Norton's origin story, maybe.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
How a kid from Detroit
digging holes.
Is
he going to be in the Dominican when he's on Wholesale Hotline?
Yeah.
Will he bring some of his wallets?
His iguana wallets?
Yes.
Maybe.
I hope so.
Okay, here we go. This is a good one. This is Brent Daniels all day long.
No, I believe it's for Trent.
That's a typo. Desiree Betancourt.
Desiree, yeah. So a couple different things with probate. You got to make sure you're talking to the right person, and you got to understand where are they in that process, because you could build a nice relationship with the personal representative that's going to be taking over and responsible for what they do with that property. But if you lock it up too soon, time kills all deals. It's real hard to get them to stay with you the whole time while they're getting bombarded with calls and texts and other agents coming out of the woodwork to real estate agents to list the property. So there's a lot of people that go after probate properties. So it's really building that relationship and getting close to the end, and then getting that close to the end where they actually get the ownership of it. Then you lock it up and get it closed. You can lock it up earlier, but the likelihood of them backing out is high. So don't, as Steve Trang says, don't spill the candy in the lobby, right? By giving them the price early, because then they leverage you.
Drop that link in the side chat for everybody.
Link for the challenge is in the side chat, guys.
There you go. Only 500. And listen, don't sign up if you're not going to show up.
Yeah, don't sign up if you're not going to show up. Don't take somebody else's spot.
My wife just did this last week for somebody. Joey Hicks says, how do I get around one of the sellers being in jail and possibly being deported? They want to sell. Hey, Mr. Brent Daniels, TTP, take the plunge. What is the answer to this? Do you just do you go around it, or do you maybe go to the jail in person? What do you do?
We've always gone in person.
That's possible?
Yeah. Yep.
I love it.
Yep.
Do you need to take any confectionary items with you?
It really depends. It depends on if they
some noodles.
If they signed a power of attorney before going into jail. If not, then you can get a power of an attorney signed to somebody there. There you go.
Great,
and
Laura.
Then send a notary.
So here's a tip. I just learned this from my wife. And by the way, TTP is going to happen tonight right here. Ricardo, thank you so much. Taste the pace. I don't think my.
Hey, Ricardo.
What do you think I taste like, guys?
Hey, no, bro, no.
Not a question. That's not a good question. Okay, this is not.
Hey, Laura,
hotline.
What's TTP?
Tough talking pansies.
Oh yeah, I like that. That's good. So Laura, I actually learned this from my wife last week. She was helping somebody else, one of my students. They were dealing with this exact situation. My wife said that there's mobile notaries that are specifically specialized in going to jails and prisons and getting people signed. So go find one of those mobile notaries. I think in that situation, Google might be your friend. Or Laura, is there a link? Is there imprisonednotaries.com? Where do we go to find those types of mobile notaries? Thank you so much for helping out in the side chat. By the way, I don't want to add more challenges to you guys, but my wife, who just gave birth a week ago, is going to be doing a 2-hour demonstration on March 6th, right before Sunday service. She's going to show you guys that she can get a deal locked up and assigned in less than 2 hours on a live. And if she doesn't do it, I'm going to give away $1,000 as penance for you guys, so you guys forgive me for lying.
To
okay?
each person on the live.
Wow.
I don't think I could afford that. I think I have $5 in my bank account.
A jail-approved mobile notary, she said.
There you go.
So they got to be approved by the prison before they'll let them in to come in and sign documents. Great point.
Daryl Ellison says, can I pull a property out of probate if there's one heir? No, you cannot. It needs to go through probate, unfortunately, brother. I'm very sorry about that, but you need to do it. How do you keep a number clean? And here's why. Because probate's not just for multiple heirs. Probate is for creditors and other people to have their nasty little paws on that property, okay? So you have to give the rights to the creditors to have their ability and their right to come after any debts that the estate owes them, okay? How do you keep a number clean for cold calling and not being marked spam? Brent, do you know the answer to this?
Switch it up weekly minimum. If you're seeing a dramatic drop in your contact, then you can Google the number and see if it's popping up as a spam likely, because these numbers get recycled. So you never know if you're getting a number that was totally, somebody totally trashed before. Google it before you use it.
This is my favorite question of the night, because it tells me, Boris, that you actually don't know what subject to means. So this is a great opportunity for me to explain this. When I buy a house subject to, I am the owner from day one, no matter what debt is owed. Boris, let me ask you a question. Okay. Actually, let me ask Jamil a question.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably a bad person to ask this. Do you have a mortgage on your house right now?
No.
Shit, you're the wrong. Anybody in here have a mortgage on their house? I have a mortgage on my house right now. I bought it subject to. Guess who the owner of that property is? It's me. I'm the owner of that property. Just because, same thing with a car.
Just because you have debt.
Yeah. Do you guys have car loans on your cars?
No.
Come on, guys. You guys got to be. Are you guys friends with Dave Ramsey or some shit? What's going on here? You don't have a debt. You don't have a debt.
I have debt on the car. Yep.
Which one?
On the Benz.
Okay, the Benz. Is the bank the owner of that Benz or you?
I'm the owner of the Benz.
But you owe money on it.
Yes. They hold the note.
There you go, guys. So that's the answer. Just because I owe a debt on a property or on a car doesn't mean I'm not the owner. The owner of the property from day one. If you guys pull up right now, if we go on public record, I wish I had a better keyboard. I'll do this on Sunday service. I'll show you guys all the properties I own, even though they're subject to and seller finance homes. They are all in my LLC's names. I own them before they were ever paid off. And Boris, the other answer to this is when they pay off, I don't pay off shit. What I do is every 5 to 7 years, I just refinance those properties, pull that equity out, and I go reinvest into something else. It's what Robert Kiyosaki and all the people that are worth billions of dollars, that's what they're doing. They're never paying anything off cash.
You keep a certain amount in?
What do you mean, in equity?
Yeah.
Nope.
Well, whatever the lender will force them to keep in.
Yeah, usually
if there was like
15%. Always 15%. Okay. And the reason being is because I can't refinance past 85%.
Right.
Okay, so I always have 15% equity, but I've got a property right now that I have probably 40 or 50% equity in. I'm going to refinance that out. Okay, interest rates are low. I'm going to take that money tax-free, and I'm going to go buy 10 more properties with that money. So you own the property from day one when you buy it subject to or seller finance. All right? Boris says he's got it. Boom. We should get Dave Ramsey on this show. We should get, 2023, I'm manifesting it right now. 2023, we're doing some content with Dave Ramsey. One of us or all of us are going to do some content with Dave Ramsey. You guys ready?
Yes.
I'm ready.
I actually love 95% of what he has to say. He's incredibly intelligent. I love Dave Ramsey, except for the leveraging of debt. I have a differing opinion. I look at the people that are worth billions and they all leverage debt.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a millionaire. I want to be a billionaire.
And Russian Eskimo just said this. Everyone, what's the best way for people to do on-market deals and talk to realtors and lock up a deal? Eskimo.
How did he just miss the fact that you're doing a transformation challenge? Like you literally brought Russian Eskimo. Take your, those Eskimos, they wear those things over their ears. What are those called?
Earmuffs.
Earmuffs. Take your earmuffs off, bro. Come on, homie.
I love the picture of Trump on
this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'm going to be doing a challenge on this subject as well. Okay, this exact thing. Yes. You're going to see it in action. And when I do a challenge, it's not theory. It's go, 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 go.
There's only 500 seats on
only
the bus.
500 seats. The link has just been put up again on the chat, and it's up here on the ticker. Sign up.
They said get Brandon David Green in here. I will text David Green tonight. I'll see if he wants to come on here. I'm personal friends with David Green. He's a great guy. He's doing a great job over there on Bigger Pockets. I know we could get Brandon Turner on here. I was texting him a couple days ago. He'd love to get on here.
Awesome. Oh, let's get him on.
He'd want to talk about mobile home parks and acquiring mobile home parks. Maybe talk about his fund. Get some eyeballs about potential beard oil. He actually should create a line of beard oil if it was me.
Does he still live in Hawaii?
Hawaii. Yeah, he lives in Hawaii.
Let's get him on.
He's what's interesting.
Early afternoon for him.
I feel like he is a natural progression of where Brent Daniels is going, and this is why I say that, because Brent has chosen lifestyle above most everything else.
Yep.
I would say you have the best lifestyle out of all my friends.
I appreciate it.
Easily you.
Yeah.
Easily you.
Yeah.
Brandon Turner answers his phone, his text messages, and his emails 1 time per week.
Wow.
Well, that's not like
you're
me.
not like that.
No, I like the action.
Yeah.
I still like the action.
But
he does big parts
for you.
That's it.
Yep.
Awesome.
I'm not gonna answer that one. That guy, that's a recipe for disaster there. Okay.
One more.
I'm green to creative, maybe a little brighter hue, thanks to you guys. But when you say cash flow, what does that look like? 300 CF?
Cash flow.
$300 cash flow. Like, what's the least? And yes, I do know this is Wholesale Hotline. Sorry, Manny Blue. What I will do for you is on Sunday service, I will answer this question in depth. I will go through my last 10 deals. In fact, if you go to my Instagram, go to Instagram's my Instagram TV, IGTV for me. In the last 3 or 4 IGTVs that I did, I broke down a deal I bought in Fayetteville where I'm making $0 cash flow on a sub 2 deal I bought from Christina Solara here in Wholesale Hotline. And I tell you exactly why I bought it and that I would never suggest you doing that in your first couple of years. When you elevate and you start buying, it's the same thing that a lot of these apartment syndicators are doing. They're buying things at 2, 3, 4 caps because they understand rent rates go up in 3 years, 5 years, et cetera. They're buying future potential. Okay. So there are times when you're a little bit more elevated and you have a little bit more resources, you can justify taking in no cash flow deals. However, when I started, I made a determination that my minimum cash flow was going to be $400 per month net in my pocket. Now, when I blend my Airbnbs, my single family rentals, my lease options, my notes, all that stuff together, I'm well over $500 per month on every single property.
Awesome. Somebody wants Robert Kiyosaki on the show. Who knows? He lives down the street.
Bro, we were at dinner with Ken McElroy the other night. Ken McElroy will come on here. We'd love to get Ken. And Ken manages all of Robert Kiyosaki's properties.
Yeah.
We are going to be speaking on stage at the Clever Summit, and Robert Kiyosaki is going to be a speaker there. So maybe we get Robert Kiyosaki out.
There you go.
Quite possible, guys.
Awesome. Guys, remember that this show is also a podcast. Not only that, but we come out with podcast episodes every single day. You can go to anywhere that you listen to your podcast. It's on there under Wholesale Hotline, guys. And if you could, please write us a review, and that would be huge for us. That's
it is legitimately the fastest growing podcast in this space, guys. Like, we had
not even close.
We've been having an incredible surge. Guys, thank you for the reviews. Thank you for the viewership. We love you.
Make sure that you guys go home and TTP your loved ones.
That's right.
Every inch of them. TTP all over them, please.
Yeah. Tell them to taste the pace. Wholesale Hotline 104. Good night.
Or just say squat up.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
What are you doing?
I didn't say nothing.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
Cool. I think we should use the one where Jamil doesn't say anything.